What even is this? Where was it?
Oh my God, you dingleberry.
Well, this is a disaster.
Really? It was bad. Just bad, real bad.
Ah.
Smell like you have a ghost escaping your ass today. Hey there, booze buddies. Welcome to Paranormal Spurts, where we share a drink, we tell you a spooky story, and then we rip it apart because booze always
Shows the truth, kids. Shows it.
always shares the truth. Oh, okay. And as always, we will be playing Emily's drinking game.
Emily's drinking game. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Where every time we screw up a word or phrase, we take a drink. So grab your drinks and play along with us. I've got a little ghosty story for you today.
I love little ghosty stories.
So this is a very special ghost story to me because it's at one of my alma maters. This is the ghost of Oxford Millford Road. I had to look.
This story is so special to me. It's the ghost of... Where is it?
This tale is written by a man named Brad Culp. When Brad was a student at Miami versus... Oh my God. When Brad was a student at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, there was a rumor that the town was haunted. In fact, there was a rumor that the town was one of the most haunted towns in America. Now, I can tell you for a fact, I did not hear this when I went to Miami, but I did hear that there were some haunted areas. So when he started an on-campus magazine, he couldn't wait to write about some of the more popular ghost stories on campus. Now, after he wrote the article, there was one ghost story that just kept sticking in his mind, and this was the ghost of Oxford Millford Road. The story goes that several decades ago, sometime in the 1940s, there was a young man who was courting a young woman. Now, her parents didn't approve of him, so anytime he visited, he was under the cover of darkness. So they couldn't see him.
So he was sneaking in to get some butt. Some butt?
Yes.
No. He was sneaking in to get some ass.
After her parents went to bed, the young woman would sneak out of the house, go into her parents' car, and flash the headlights 3 times. This was her signal to him that it was good to come. So he would ride his motorcycle up to come get her. One night, he took the turn to her house a little too sharply. The motorcycle went one way and he went the other. So the story goes, it was a kind of situation. His injuries were so severe that he didn't survive. Rumor has it, however, it's another love-struck ghost, that his love-struck ghost still haunts the road. Now, remember Brad Culp, our buddy who wrote the article?
Yeah.
So he was curious. So he took his girlfriend, who then later became his wife, and a friend, and they headed out there one night to this stretch of Oxford Millford Road because they wanted to kind of try it and see what would happen. His girlfriend believed in this stuff a lot more than he did. So she was a little nervous about it, but she was like, all right, Brad, I will go along with it, okay? He mostly thought like, nah, this isn't true. Like, we're just going to go to confirm that, like, what I'm thinking is nothing is going to happen. He passed the abandoned farmhouse where the girl supposedly lived. He stopped his car and he flashed the headlights 3 times. And he says, and I quote, no joke, there was a single headlight that appeared 3/4 of a mile down the road. There was a single headlight that appeared 3/4 of a mile down the road. You saw it start to come, going pretty slow. It kept coming and coming. My wife was freaking out. It was coming closer and closer. And as the collision seemed like it was just going to happen, because remember, he's sitting there.
Right.
Car stopped, lights out. He turned his car on, turned the headlights on. He expected to see like a kid on a motorcycle or somebody on a bike or something like that. But there was nothing there, and the light was just gone. Nothing. So they got out of the car, they walked around, they're trying to figure out, like, okay, there's got to be some plausible reason, like, let's try to figure this out. Find anything. He says to this day, he still talks about it. It still made an impression on him. Maybe, just maybe, there was something to the story.
Are there do we know if any other people have, like, experienced this as well?
So there is another sighting of this mysterious single headlight on the road with nothing being there. This was in 2003. There was a group of friends who were interested in this type of activity, paranormal activity. So they wanted to go and see what would happen. So again, they found the abandoned farm, turned the car around, turned it off, flashed their headlights 3 times. And there were 3 guys in the car. One of the guys first said he saw a headlight kind of off in the distance, like a single light coming towards them. And the other guy didn't see anything. But then the third friend started to see the light as well. Now, the one who didn't see the light heard kind of a noise, and he realized the noise was the sound of an engine. But again, there were no cars around, like no motorcycles, no cars. The 2 friends who saw the light kept saying, how can you not see that? How it's right there in front of us in the middle of the road. And he was kind of like, how can you not hear the engine? It keeps getting louder and louder and louder. And yet it was nothing. So they were just getting freaked out by this point in time. So they decided to turn around, like, we're out of here. And so they decided to leave. Now, the driver was the one who couldn't see the light initially. The other 2 friends could see the light. He was the one that could hear the engine. But as he was driving, now he saw the light in his rear view mirror. And basically they said this light kept following them, and eventually it disappeared. But there was no one behind them.
I mean, you really, honestly, the ghostie is just looking for his girlfriend, right? Like yet another quest for some sexual contact, I guess.
Yeah, I can't say he's got the eternal quest for the D, but he's got the eternal quest for the V.
For the V?
Yeah.
That was V for vulgar right there. Yeah, it's the eternal quest for the V, essentially, because maybe he just was like, that was the time. Like, imagine this poor guy, right? He's just been playing a little game of just the tip for like a long time. This is his journey into like full-blown
manhood.
All the way to the base. And then he frigging gets in an accident and dies. So now he's just going to haunt everybody who flashes the lights 3 times because he's just waiting for that full penetration.
Maybe here's my chance.
He's just out for penetration.
Gross. I don't like that word. It's not my favorite.
It's mine. So basically, if you die before you get laid, you just have to search for the genitals for the rest of eternity. That's the lesson here.
So it would seem. See, now I like imagine this like Eternal Quest for the D is a video game, and Eternal Quest for the V is like the second rendition of the video game. He's driving his motorcycle. I mean, motorcycle doesn't have steering.
That's why he crashed. That's why he crashed. Oh, la-di-da, just driving my motorcycle.
So
this is an important lesson for safety gear, kids. Wear a helmet.
Don't do this.
Don't ride your motorcycle like this. Headlights. Wah! Or maybe she shouldn't flash her high beams in her boyfriend's face when he's riding his motorcycle.
Exactly. Yeah, he's like, no.
Just going down the road. Go to I
wonder, does he know he's dead? Maybe he doesn't realize he's dead. And so every time somebody flashes their lights 3 times, he's like, yes, finally. Here we go, Mildred. I'm coming for you.
Headed on the highway. They're looking for a crash. Moral of the story, don't die when you're in the process of trying to get laid, because you will then end up in a weird cycle of trying to eternally complete the mission.
In fact, it's called the mission cycle.
Is it really called the mission cycle? What is that?
Oh, I just made that up. It's a missionary cycle.
The missionary cycle. Well, that's the crappy story of the motorcycle guy and his girlfriend and the dead headlights on the highway and the flashing 3 times. Cool. If you like what you saw, take those hands off those headlights and like, subscribe, and ring that bell. And if you don't like what you saw, goodbye. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time for more drunken adventures with 2 old, definitely alive, non-motorcycle riding whores. Goodbye.